Who's up for some ancient strategy with a bit of modern fun? We are playing and ranking 4 teeny tiny historical games in this episode of Little Big Thumbs. Back in 2024, we shared 2 videos that were ranking 2 sets of tiny games from Lemery Games. And now we're diving into a 3rd collection of these ancient gems, featuring traditional games from Chile, Guatemala, Hawaii, and pre-Columbian America. Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a lightning quick look at all 4 of these games and then place them in the rank that we as a family most enjoyed them. So, let's get on with it. Let's start out with the first game from this collection of Ludos, Ancient Games of America. The first ancient game we're talking about today is called Kōnane. This is a traditional classic going back centuries and originating from Hawaii. The idea with this one is that there are 2 lei makers competing for the best assortment of flowers. We have a large grid filled with beautiful wooden flower tokens, with one player in control of the hibiscus tokens and the other handling the jasmines. Players are taking turns jumping over each other's pieces to capture and remove them from the playing space. It's possible to collect several opposing flowers in one turn, so long as each subsequent jump is going in the same direction as the first. However, if one player is unable to capture at least one opposing flower on their turn, they immediately lose the game. Kōnane is a puzzly game with some similarities to checkers. There are very few decisions to make in the early turns of the game, but it does eventually come down to thinking ahead and setting yourself up to make some sneaky jumps, and leave your opponent in some tricky situations. It's quite possibly the prettiest game in this Ludos collection, but at our game table, no one really put it at the top of their list. So for this video, for this list, we are placing Kōnane at number 4. Our next game is a slithery battle of snakes, with a name that's a bit of a mouthful to say. Awithlaknannai translates to mean fighting serpents and originates from the Zuni people of New Mexico. Much like Kōnane, this one can be loosely compared to checkers, but instead of playing on a large square grid, this one takes place on a long, twisty board. Each player is controlling a squad of 12 snake tokens, and on each turn a player must use one of their snakes to capture an opposing serpent by executing a jump over them into an empty space. But if a capture is not an option, then a player can always just move one of their snakes one adjacent space. A single snake can make multiple captures on a single turn, and in true snaky fashion, these can weave in different directions to make for some major shifts in momentum. In the traditional game of Awithlaknannai, a game ends once one player has lost all of their snakes or are stuck in a position where they have no legal moves to make. However, Lemery Games is providing their own variant endgame condition of one player being reduced to just 2 snakes remaining, which can help avoid a bit of the inevitably lengthy chase that can happen at the end of a game. Awithlaknannai is a true game of tactical turbulence, as players attempt to lure their opponent into compromising situations and maybe set themselves up for those multiple snaky serpent snatches. It's a truly enjoyable fangy fiasco, but we found that if one player falls too far behind early in the game, it can be difficult to catch up and turn things around. We're placing this one at number 3 in our ranking today, but if you are an abstract gaming fan, this is a historical gem that's absolutely worth checking out. Puluc is a wild and fast-paced game from Guatemala that's a bit of a race, a battle, and a game of chance all rolled into one. Each player controls 5 warriors, starting in their home cities at opposite ends of the board. Those warriors will be trying to cross the board to capture their opponent's warriors. The unpredictable element of this game does involve a shake and a throw, but it's not dice. In place of that iconic component, we're rolling kernels of corn. Each kernel has one side with a painted tip, and the number of visible tips after a throw will tell us how far we must move one of our warriors. If the last step of that movement lands our warrior on top of an opponent's, then they are captured and are stacked underneath our own game piece. It's possible for warriors to stack on top of even more warriors as they seek to save one another from capture, making for a potentially epic comeback story. When a player carries a captured warrior all the way across into the opposing city space, that captured piece is offered as a sacrifice to the gods and is permanently removed from the game. And when one player has all of their pieces either captured or removed from play, the other is declared the winner of Puluc. All of the other games in this collection have a little bit of checkers in their DNA, but Puluc stands out as something truly unique. We love that bit of chaotic tug-of-war that's in the game, and that's why this one is placed at number 2 in our Ludos America ranking. Komikan is a game of the hungry puma hunting a herd of alpacas. It's an abstract game for 2 players in which one player controls a single token and the other is manipulating a herd of 12 alpacas. Here's how it works. The puma always moves first, sneaking around the board and trying to capture 6 alpacas to achieve victory. Those captures take place by hopping over one of those woolly wanderers in a straight line and into an empty space on the other side of that hop. Meanwhile, the alpacas cannot hop or capture the puma. Their goal is to work together to trap the puma, blocking it into a position on the board where it has no opportunities to move anywhere. In addition, the alpaca player also has a secondary victory condition. If they can fill the puma's den with fleecy friends, then it's game over for that singular hunter. More than any other game in this collection, Komikan feels tense and exciting and surprisingly thematic. There's an argument that the puma may be the more powerful role to play in this game and could be likely to win more often. To counteract this balancing act, the folks at Lemery Games are including a special variant to try out that gives the alpaca player more opportunities to claim frequent victories of their own. That thematic tension and just our urge to play this one over and over again makes Komikan the number 1 spot in this entire collection, the top game of Ludos America. So there you have it, 4 ancient American games ranked in the order that we most enjoyed them. Much like the ancient game collections of Africa and Asia, each small bundle in Ludos America seeks to honor the historical background of the game while offering variants for the modern strategic gamer to explore. If you love collecting a series of games, these collections really stand out on a game shelf, with this new offering being a great addition to a beautiful series. My kids are always surprised when a new ancient game collection arrives on our table, and they immediately remember the fun times we had playing the previous ones and are curious to find out what the new games have in store for us. Some of the more tactical games in this collection might be a little bit frustrating for younger players, but they're all really easy to learn and they often don't last more than 15 or 20 minutes. As with their previous Kickstarter campaigns, Lemery Games is offering a pay-what-you-can model, in which folks can pledge any amount for a single unboxed game which arrives in one of these silky bags. Although we love seeing the full collection on our shelves, we absolutely appreciate that Lemery Games has found this accessible way for pretty much anyone to get in on this campaign. To learn more about the Ludos America campaign and all the other travel-themed games that Lemery offers, be sure to check out the links in the description of this video. So, which Ludos America game sounds like the most fun to you? Let us know in the comments. Thank you to Lemery Games for giving us a sneak peek of this ancient games collection, and as always, thank all of you for watching. We'll be back again very soon, and until then, whether you've got little players or big players, make sure that you keep playing games that make your thumbs go way up. Bye for now.